Hey everyone, and welcome to the review of the Corsair T1 Racing Gaming Chair review. Okay, so into the nitty gritty. At the end of the day, an office chair is always going to be a decent investment because you're going to spend a lot of time on it. It doesn't matter whether you're going to be sat there typing or whether you're going to be sat there fragging and gaming with your friends all the time. But let's face it, there's a couple of things that they all do, and that's you can put them up and you can put them down a fair bit. This one actually does go up high enough that my thighs actually touch my desk. So the height adjustment on this one, it's actually quite decent compared to a lot of the others that I've got. It definitely goes up higher than some of the other big brands. And they also all have a reach adjustment, a back adjustment on them as well. Something that this one does, which I thought was kind of cool compared to the others. I mean, you can raise and drop the sides, but you can also push the arms backwards and forwards as well. They all kind of tilt that way as well. This one does actually have a really nice kind of texture to the arm pads, which is carried through to a lot of the other parts of the chair as well. So on the front, what I'm going to call it headrest, you can see there's a nice kind of stealthy Corsair logo that you can see there, but there's also one around the back as well, which is going to make the camera go absolutely crazy about refocusing, which it seems to have done quite well. I'm quite impressed. But the carbon fibre effect PU leather on the back and round the sides and also on the white parts of the chair is actually something that I kind of like, because it does give it a really nice texture and it does tie in with that gaming kind of theme. One of the things I will say though is when it comes to the, I don't know whether you call it ruched leather, obviously it's PU leather, but this kind of checker plate, almost diamondy effect, that to me, I mean, I don't know whether I'm thinking Range Rovers or whether I'm thinking Mercedes, but I've definitely seen that pattern on some of the high-end cars. And the one thing I will say is this leather is really, really smooth. I've got to admit, when it comes to office chairs like this, I normally go for cloth just because I spend so much time sat in them, but this is really soft. We've got some summer in the UK at the moment. It's some very rare summer, and I've not disliked sat in it, which is actually quite a big statement for me really, considering the chairs that I've purchased for myself have been cloth and I've steered away from the leather in the past. So this is, I'm not going to say it's won me over, but it's done a lot better than I thought it would have done. You can see the adjustable lumbar support there. It's adjustable, but at the same time you can completely remove it with a couple of clips. So it's pretty simple. It's the same for the one that goes up near your neck as well. It's really easy to remove it. And you can pop it through there. You can actually get it to go a little bit higher if you want as well. And you've got the nice diamond pattern on that side, but if you were to remove it, there is another panel of the sort of carbon fibre effect white material behind it. When it comes to the design of the bit where you really park your bottom, you can see you've got some really strong accents down the side. You've got a decent wide base to be able to put your bottom on as well. At the front you have 40 centimetres, and then at the narrow part at the back you're looking at 29 centimetres. So that can give you an idea, and maybe if you've got a chair at the moment you can measure that up and give yourself an idea whether it may be wide or not wide enough for you. And then if you were to have the armrests at the very closest inside points, between the armrests themselves you're looking at 50 centimetres, so there's a fair old amount of width between the two as well. 50 centimetres, is that really what it is? Between the two? Yeah, it's 50 centimetres. So there's a fair amount of width there for you as well. Onto the base, there are actually some colour accents, and when you order your chair, these will actually match the colour accent that you've got. So obviously mine's black and white, so I've got the little white accents on it. But something that is kind of unique to this chair is the fact that they're practically running rollerblade wheels. There are 5 arms on the base in total, and they've all got the accents. But like I said, there's a single kind of, like I said, rollerblade wheel on the bottom. Normally you have kind of much lower accent, lower height wheels, and they're quite often dual as well. Now, one of the plus points for running these is literally if you move around on your chair and you move around the room and you kind of scoot yourself around, then these are ridiculously fast compared to the other chairs that I'm used to. I can literally fling across to another desk so much faster on this chair. So sometimes the wheels can catch a bit. It only seems to matter on carpet. I've got some quite thick underlay under this where I'm walking around and I'm on it all the time, and it can catch. It's not all the time though. It can catch you a bit unawares, and you kind of do get used to it. Essentially what you have to do is almost sit back in the chair when you roll. So if you're tempted to put your weight forward, or you're leaning forward when you move, that's when I found that it can do it. So it's actually easier, like I said, to kind of keep your weight back, and then it just flicks through. It's absolutely fine on low pile carpet. It's absolutely fine on lino or anything like that. Very short pile, that sort of stuff. So it's an office chair at the end of the day with plenty of adjustment. And it is actually, the fabric on it is really soft, and the chair is really comfortable as well. Like I said, when you first kind of get on it, I don't know whether it's because I'm going from a chair that I'm very used to a totally different one. The wheels did catch me unawares a few times, but as you can see now, when I keep my weight back, it's not a problem. The only time that it does do it, like I've said, is when sometimes you can be, want to sit yourself forward, and you can do it and you can catch it unawares then. I think it's just because they're single wheels, but like I said, if you're not bouncing around the office all the time, it's never going to be an issue. But if you are moving around your office or your gaming room and stuff, if you keep your bottom back, I'll tell you something, it's been so hard not for me to use the A word, but anyway, if you keep your bottom back in the chair and you don't lean forward, it's not a problem at all. It may be something to do with the carpet combo and the underlay, because when I had the carpet done, I had very thick underlay put in for noise suppression, because obviously I can be working late a lot of the time, and just so that it's comfortable for me. If you've not got any of those issues at home, then you're going to absolutely be fine. If you've got like a firm carpet or lino or laminate flooring or something like that, you are literally going to fly. If you had chair races, you would absolutely decimate on this. So I like the fact you've got the kind of racy feel to it. It does, have that kind of racy car chair feel to it. But you've got the carbon accents and everything on there as well. Now, when it comes to price, I know that the Corsair is going to be around the £300 mark. Now, I have looked at the other PU models. There's actually one above at £350 and some are below at around £250. So it does sit kind of nicely in the middle. But the weird thing is, especially with a lot of things nowadays, there are a lot of people, I'm normally one of them, that like to keep all my branding continuous. So if you can have something that matches a lot of the other parts in your rig, let's face it, we've got an entire Corsair ecosystem going on here with the K95 and the RGB mat. Yes, it's a Corsair one. And we've got the glaive mouse and all the RGB fans going on in the rig. You can kind of literally go fanboy crazy if you want. Now, a lot of the time when you end up going fanboy crazy, it can end up meaning that you're making compromises. And when it comes to the chair, there really isn't any compromises. To be honest with you, it's hard to get a chair wrong, and you would have to use poor quality fabrics and a really kind of basic cheap design if you were going to do that. So the £300 that you end up paying for this means that you do get a decent design, but also you get those really nice soft fabrics as well. And I cannot stress to you enough that, like in my car, for example, I'm not a big fan of leather. I don't know why, I never have been. I've got fabric sofas in my front room and a fabric wingback because I didn't want a leather one. But this is actually really nice and soft. And although I may not have bought it, I don't dislike it enough to tell you that it's bad either. Yes, if they said to me they were going to do a cloth one, I probably would have chosen the cloth over it. But if you're looking at PU, or you're looking at, you can't really want to stretch to the full leather, because let's face it, proper full leather chairs are going to cost you upwards of £500. So when you're talking about something like this, and the other thing as well is it's probably even going to last quite well as well. I've given it abuse and I've had this probably close to a month now, and the wheels has been the only really tiny thing that I've got in a negative way to say about it. So would this be the type of thing that you would like to have added to your gaming room? Please let me know in the comments. I'm actually searching around for my remote, and I think yeah, look, it's fallen off, it's on the floor. Anyway, so this was hard work. I've had to do a lot of sitting down to get this review done. But let me know what you think. Do you think it's a brave place for Corsair to be heading with another new lineup? I thought it was, but to be honest with you, they have done quite a good job. Do you think the seat was rangy or Merc as well? I still can't decide which one I thought it was best from. But yeah, awesome product from Corsair. Comfy product from Corsair. And I could get used to having to do this kind of testing more often. But for now at least, this has been Tiny Tom Logan with another review. Am I going to get round again? Out.